Good morning, Libra. Welcome back to Path of Enlightenment Tarot. For those of you returning to the channel, welcome back. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I am Nicole. Libra, this is going to be your May 2024 reading. This will be for your sun, your moon, your rising, and your Venus cross watcher. If this is you that has decided to join us, welcome to the channel as well. Guys, always be discerning of the messages. You're here. You should know how this works. I'm going to make a little adjustment here real quick. Okay, good enough. All right, Libra. So we're going to jump right into your reading. I'm actually going to do yours a little differently than the typical cards that I use or have been using for these readings, simply because, I don't know, I'm feeling very connected with this deck, and I feel like the messages that are coming out are going to be, I don't know, we're going with it, right? We're going with it. All right, so Libra, let's get to it. Spirit for the sign of Libra. For May of 2024, what does Libra need to know? Spirit is saying there is a ethereal awareness. Libra, I feel like there are certain things that are lining up. I got the chills. I don't know, something here is lining up. Things are going to be balanced and fair one way or another. Spirit says, if you're on the good side of this, basically good. Like, I forget the word they just used. Like, it's not coming back out. And if you're not, and I think I've said something to that effect with you guys before, like, hopefully you're on the good side of these things. So it's always going to be a matter, Libra, of what your intentions have been. And I'm going to say this to you, and I think I've said this in some of your other videos. I really do feel like I'm talking to two sets of different Libras. Okay, there's the one set of you that have evolved into this spiritual being who you're really working on and have a deeper understanding of the your path, right? Your path, where you're headed, where you're going, stepping into that integrity, stepping into that self-awareness, your higher self, the guidance, and being very open to those changes as they're coming in. I also feel like the other set of Libras that I'm talking to are people who are starting to step into this path, or starting to maybe question those societal norms, the breakdowns, the structural changes as we deal with Pluto and Aquarius, right? So decipher where you sit. I'm going to say to you, I feel like this reading, for some of you, you have an awareness and a knowledge. Some of you could be dealing more so with what could be a cross-watcher kind of energy. Others of you, this is, Spirit keeps going, information to challenge the way that you are thinking, information to have you deal with some hard truths so that you gain that deeper knowledge, you gain that deeper understanding. So guys, put this where it fits for you. You know where you are in your own timeline. You know where you are in your intentions. You know where you are in whatever struggles or challenges you've faced. Where are you heading is what Spirit is saying. So be very mindful of that, okay? Strong messages, Libra, strong messages. All right, for Libra, May 2024, what's going on? I do feel like you're dealing with a lot of external circumstances when it comes to other people and how you are embracing that. So it's kind of like looking at your outside world with a magnifying glass. High Priestess of Air coming out sideways, so Libra, there you are. And again, that kind of gives me that reiteration of there's a 50-50 here. There's some of you who are in this, some of you that are figuring it out or trying to figure it out. Excuse me. Hiccups this morning, goodness. All right, Libra. Denial, see, coming out sideways too. So again, it's kind of like deceit. Oh, Lord, Libra. Okay, so, all right. Let's get into it here. This denial, I'm going to say to you guys, again, this could be, I kind of feel like there's this, again, this energy of this cross-watcher or someone you're dealing with. Libra, for a long time, you could have been mirroring this person, this situation. I can't help but go, there's a lot going on around you. There's a lot of focus around the people around you, the situations around you, what has come of these things, and now where you are heading. This deceit laying underneath is Spirit is saying pause for a cause and a level of concern. Where I've heard that before, I don't know, but that sounds awfully familiar to me. This denial coming out sideways. Rectifying the wrongs. This is also knowing the things that you should not be engaging in either. And it's kind of like, I do feel like there's been an energy of some shit from the past that has been brought to the forefront. And I'm going to tell you guys, this could be relationships, this could be partnerships, this could be karmic stuff, this could be family situations. Libra, I really can't help but say to you, and I told you months ago, I'm going to beat the dead horse here, but it's for your purpose of growth, that this shift with Aries and Libra being in the North and South node, this is a very pivotal time, and I don't care what placements you have. When it comes to those top three, that Sun, Moon, Rising, and then even your Venus, this is very important. This is you learning to get out of that self-deception mode. This is learning to get away from people that are deceptive, people that manipulate, people that lie. If you've been in that energy, Libra, like, God help you, right? Like, if you have found value in yourself, if you're finding value in yourself to flip that switch, that you're learning why you are the way you are, or why you've moved or done the things that you've done, because maybe that's conditions, right? We are brought up in environments that teach us a way that we're supposed to be, and we engage in that because that's what we identify as that type of person, that personality, our traits, our characteristics. And that's who we just go, well, this is who I am. This is what I know to be true. This is the truth that I was brought up under, this conditioning. And it's really hard to, like, once you start to see things, once you start to see the bigger picture, once you start to see how fucked up a conditioning has been, or a level of whatever has been for you, that you start to switch your thought process, and you're like, this has not served me. This has not served me well. Not all that glitters is gold. Not everything that, that is beautiful to me is what is healthy for me either. Or what it is that I am, pulled into or is alluring to me. It's changing that perception of what it is for you that is not serving. And I feel like with this energy of this shift of in-betweens with both of these cards, it's the need to get clear about when you accept the lower vibrational parts of life, what that cuts you off from, what bountiful, beautiful blessings you're missing out on, right? And then you get a taste for those things, and then trying to break that condition and the pattern so that you can enjoy these blessings without cutting them off. So it's kind of like you're trying to cut off the negative to step into the positive, but with that positive, there's that drawback to those negative aspects of self or other people or partnerships or whatever it is for you. It's almost like you're caught in between, Libra. Okay, and again, you could be dealing with people like that who present themselves to you as optimistic, positive, like they're trying to change, they're trying to do better, but you still see something about them that is not clearing itself up, or they're not clearing it up for themselves. So it's like, maybe you have love or thought or beauty or charm or, whatever it is that draws you back into it, but you're still seeing broken pieces, that you're still being denied the right to fully engage with a person or a situation for everybody's higher good because they're not stepping into their own power the way that they should be, or they're unaware of, right? So it's very cattywampus. I used that word not long ago. It's a very difficult energy to me that you're trying to navigate with this. Okay, so Libra, what in the world is happening? Where is my other deck? Okay, let's dive deeper here. Spirit is piping directions at me left, right, and sideways this morning. I'm going to clarify these two. Oh my goodness, and then we'll dive into some more. Knight of Wands, Page of Wands, Queen of Wands. A lot of fire energy there, but I'm going to, too many cards. I just wanted to see what those were, though. This High Priestess of Air, Four of Cups. for some of you, you could feel like you're stuck waiting on something or someone, or you feel like you're stuck waiting for answers and clarity around something as well. I feel like for some of you, you are really trying to find this one thing that nourishes you, because you realize like you've already tried different things, or you could be feeling like you've already tried different things, and it's kind of like, well, I've got this here, I've got this here, I've got this here. It's kind of giving me the energy of options, and you've kind of shelf-lifed some of these things and gone, okay, well, that can sit there for the time being while I indulge in this other thing, right? So it's kind of like putting some stuff on the back burner. But I think those things that are on the back burner, Libra, are the things that you really need to be addressing right now. Putting them, you know, it's like, well, I got some fulfillment, is what Spirit is saying, some fulfillment out of this, but I still need more. Whatever this more is, I need more. The Devil. Talking about those old ways of being, you know, again, that mental process, if I could just easily go back there. You think about it in the sense, I think all of us can relate in some way to addiction. I think everybody, for the most part, unfortunately, has dealt with somebody with some sort of addiction issues. That in order to, there's always that draw that once we become obsessed or addicted to something, we need more of it and more of it and more of it, right? It's kind of like that energy, and then taking the action to go, what gives me this emotional fulfillment? You've got the King of Cups with the Four of Cups with the Devil, and then the World. Like the cycle is trying to end, but the Moon. There are still those things, those three cups, right? Like you're the things that you've shelved, that you're not willing to address on an emotional level of what, it gives me that vibe I talk about of instant gratification. Like, what is it going to fulfill me right now in this moment, rather than what the long-term process of this is for you. And you've got to be willing to put in the work, to address this. The High Priestess. There are things, I think, Libra, that are coming out right now that you're not going to be able to turn a blind eye to. Maybe, you know, you did or said something 6 months ago and you're like, I just want to forget about it. Or maybe somebody else has done this, and, you know, when you talk to them or deal with them, they just want to forget that it's ever happened. They want to kind of like side skirt their own responsibility or accountability in a situation. Whatever this is coming up in May, know that those things cannot be ignored anymore. That ignorance, I don't want to say ignorance, just the avoidance would be the better word. The avoidance of these things are the thing that is holding it up. So if you're dealing with somebody, you then have that free will choice to go, I'm going to engage in this, or I'm not going to engage in this. But it's being illuminated with the sun underneath here. That High Priestess coming out, its secrets revealed, right? There's truth coming to the surface of a situation. They're no longer going to be able to be ignored. They have to be addressed. So with this denial, what is this denial about? I've never had a card do that before. I was thinking Wheel of Fortune for some reason when I thought the High Priestess was coming out. Queen of Cups. I'm going to tell you, this is interesting. Three of Swords. That's what I was thinking. Libra, this is, I do feel like, boy, there's so much coming in. All right, so a couple things. Let's break this down. You could be partnered up with somebody. Somebody is coming in more emotionally mature than the other. I do think there is some breakthroughs with this Wheel of Fortune that is happening. But I think the level of maturity of somebody or something you're dealing with is showing itself to be deceptive. I've got that deceit, and I've got the Seven of Swords sitting here with the Four of Wands and the Three of Swords. The breakthrough that's coming may not be the way you want it to be. The truth that's coming to light, that maybe you've denied yourself the right of when it comes to a particular situation, is not, it's almost like waking up from that moon energy of the illusion, right? Those secrets being revealed, 1441 on the clock there, and then this 14, denial being the 14 in this deck. Significant changes, right? Fives. significant changes, that your foundation is not what it was built. It cannot be sustained on what it was built on. And it's going to affect your home life. It's going to affect maybe family and children. There could be a separation on the horizon. Spirit is saying it's going to be what you make of it. It is going to be what you make of it, Libra. This is either for your, it's always for your growth. It's how you choose to perceive it and what you choose to do with it, rather than living in a set of misery. This could be karmic soul ties, soul contracts, soul mates. That's 6. Again, it's bringing stuff up from the past that has been shelved, that says no more. Like, we have to address this here and now. So it's a real big energy that comes in with this change here, Libra. And I'm going to say with this change, you may not feel like this is a positive shift for you, but it really is. Pride sitting in the background, Leo Kingdom. It's taking control and reins and listening to your inner guidance, listening to the guidance that you're getting. I would also say to some of you, if you are dealing with 5-5 again, Libra, this is crazy. If you're listening to guidance from other people, I would be cautious of that. Because if they're coming from an egotistical space, it's almost like, we could say, parents live vicariously through their children, right? This person is egging on secrets that they don't, how do I put this? It's not that they don't want them to be revealed, is what Spirit is saying. But it's like they'll die on that sword even if they're wrong, because they let their pride and ego get in the way. Don't be led by people who live in this illusion. Plain and simple. Do not be led by people that live in this illusion. What you may not understand is what Spirit is saying is that with this Leo, this kingdom energy, July could be a very important month in regards to that split that I just talked about. This is, again, you may not feel that this is for your betterment, but it is. Because I feel like this is tied to those things that you've put on the shelf and did not want to have to review. It may be a painful change. It may be a painful ending. It may put you in your head. It may hurt your heart. But it's going to alleviate pressure and stress that of all the things that were wrong in the past. It's not even so much writing, it's the balance that's being created, but it's also giving you the space to start over on a new slate so that these things are not a repetitive cycle. So you're learning the lessons that you need to learn. It is the wheel making those adjustments for you. It's like, okay, you've been up here, we'll bring you down here. In order to get back up, you're going to have to do the climb. Okay, so it's very important that you understand how that energy is coming in. All right, Libra, past, present, future. We're 18 minutes in. All of these readings have been coming out a bit longer. And part of the reason I've been slower to get them out, I think. For Libra, Judgment, that release that I just talked about, right? This is those choices. This is the choice to review those things in the past, right? It's needing to let these things go, releasing that pressure, releasing even judgments of other people, Spirit is saying. And then, Libra, there you are, the Justice card. I talked about that balance. There it is, 6 of Wands. This is for the long-term victory. Again, how you're going to see it, the wheel. And I do feel like you guys are holding on to this mental energy, this sorrow, regret, loss, remorse. That's the underlying feeling that's coming in with this. This isn't fair. This isn't balanced. This is bullshit. Why should I have to let these things go? Why should I have to work through these things? Because it's going to change your life for the better. It's going to be about your perspective. Future energy for the sign of Libra. 9 of Pentacles. Again, I talked about that separation, right? Boundaries, the Devil, 4 of Swords, healing, the Empress. These boundaries, Libra, are going to be necessary. I don't want to call it a period of isolation. You're just needing to be very selective about who you're dealing with, what you're dealing with. It's shutting down all of those external influences and going within for you, right? periods of isolation, meditation, praying, health and happiness for you rather than for the sake of others. Who gives a shit if other people are, I mean, and I don't say this in like a mean way, you're not responsible for other people's happiness, so who gives a shit what they're doing or where they're at? That's on them. What about you? What lies have you been telling to yourself that have kept you in this situation with this person or people or whatever this might be for you? There's a big must-have realization that comes in with this, okay? So what is this judgment about, Spirit, for the past energy? Some of you, and I'm going to say with the judgment and justice sitting here, legal situations, there could be a balancing of something. I do think that all eyes are on you, Libra, is what I'm hearing. Some of you will have some successes. I think for others of you on the lower end vibrational stuff that you're learning, understand that there are consequences to our actions. And if you feel like you're taking the brunt of consequences right now, it's creating that balance. And I'm going to say too, when it comes to this pride aspect, for some of you, you could be dealing with somebody who's wanted to have that attention. It's like they need to be seen. There's that Four of Cups showing up again with the judgment. Again, consequences to the choices, consequences to the things that you did not want to see, things that maybe you took for granted, or maybe, you could be the one feeling like you were taken for granted. And going, this is not where I'm going to be anymore. Five of Wands, internal conflict, Queen of Swords, clarity around that internal conflict. Libra, I'm going to say to you, September, so that's the beginning of your season, mid-September, there's going to be a lot of changes. There's probably going to be a lot of argument, a lot of fighting, a lot of competition, a lot of changes within yourself. I think that's going to start to radiate externally as you start to shift your perception around certain things. Someone could be coming in to knock off the fighting. Well, hello, I see you. The Emperor, taking back authoritative power and control. Here comes that Queen of Swords again. Libra, Queen of Swords, we can slice that up to being you. But I do feel like whatever has been a very long, difficult haul, somebody here is coming in and going, this is done. This is done. We're not doing that anymore. I'm putting my foot down. Where there has been, it almost feels like a fight over a control aspect. It's time to let go of control, whether this is internally, externally. I do feel like for some of you, it's a mix of both, and this could be a third party situation. Doesn't mean romantic third party. I feel like this is a battle of egos, wills, pride, the mind, that needs to be rectified somehow. Justice, Page of Cups coming out sideways. It's like, bring love into the situation, Libra. 8 of Pentacles and the 7 of Pentacles. I will say to you, and I think I said this recently before, this is a falling short, that you have to bring love into a situation in order to rectify it. You cannot operate in a space, even for the people that have maybe wronged you, out of anger, hurt, resentments. There's a healing here that has to happen. And I do think that whatever this judgment call is going to be in the near future, who's put in the work? It's again, like, who's come into this with love? Who's come into this with emotional intelligence? Who's come into this that's really making the effort? And I'm going to say, Libra, whether it's you or the other person in a situation, somebody has put in a little bit more work, and another person may feel like their hands are tied, or vice versa, or maybe a little bit of both. Like, I almost kind of see this as both sides going, well, this is what I've done. Something here has to give. What gives here, Spirit? What gives? 7 of Wands. Who's implemented the strongest boundaries and held true to their self? Who's done this introspection? Who's done this? Look at this. I talk about that introspection, healing work. The Lover's card coming out underneath all of that with the devil showing itself, Hierophant, the Magician. Libra, and I've seen these major arcanas pop out for you significantly. Who has done the work? I talked about that 50-50 split. Who has done the work? Who is this period of healing about? Is it for you? Is it for others? Is it a mix of both? Because you create that ripple effect. That stagnancy of the hangman, this is that enlightenment. You know, the hermit and the hangman, enlightenment, right? Around situations that something here needs to be healed. Something here, give me 1 second, needs to be addressed. And this is a healing of wound, and I'm going to tell you, and I think this came out before, Libra, maternal. This is maternal aspects of healing that have to happen. You know, maybe you've had a mother or somebody in your life that's in that maternal aspect that needed to make different choices, and they didn't. And that's that conditioning that's been carried on with you. There's a lot around mother wounds when it comes to you, Libra, and that may be even the boundary that you need to admit. Maybe, you know, you tried to ignore, you know, there's that whole, well, that's my mother, right? That's my father, that's my so-and-so. And there's been an avoidance to what their actions that you've been conditioned under, what you've grown up knowing, has played a bigger role in your life than you realize. And now it's like this situation is coming to a head that you can no longer avoid it. Bring love. This person that you maybe looked up to or thought had your back or whatever, maybe they lacked emotional intelligence. You know, where love came in, they drew the line and we weren't going there, kind of thing, right? This is about bringing love into the balance as who's willing to do the work when it comes to that hard space. And I think for some of you, there's a lot of attention that kind of bounces back and forth. I'm not quite sure what that means, but that's what Spirit's giving me. This Nine of Pentacles moving forward, Libra. I don't even know what to title this video. This is nuts. King of Wands. You could be dealing with an Aries, Leo, Sag. Does not have to be. You've got Aries here again. Two of Swords. A lot of sideways energy. Libra, you're on the cusp of something. And when I see these cards repetitively coming out in this, it's kind of like you're weighing your options. You're trying to make a decision. You might feel like you're caught in an impasse right now of whether or not you want to deal with certain things. Maybe not getting direct clarity, but Spirit is also showing me kind of like the Three of Wands, the path that sits on the Three of Wands, that you're going to want to take the road less traveled here. If you're going to make a decision, take the decision or make the choice to make the decision to take a road less traveled. The one that you are unfamiliar with, because obviously the familiarity has not served you, or sitting it on a shelf and going, I don't want to deal with these things. I don't want to look at this for what it is. I'm just going to find the other thing that makes me feel fulfilled. Some of you could be dealing with lovers that tend to jump ship, right? It's like, well, this worked for a little bit, and then, you know, maybe they come back to you, and then vice versa. Then they go off to the next thing and they come back to you. There's a lot of this energy of this back and forth between you and other people. It doesn't have to be lovers. Maybe it's a job. Maybe you've left a job, gone back to it, left the job, come back to it. There could be a lot of job changes, Spirit is saying, in the last 4 years specifically. I think you're getting ready, like I think I told Scorps not long ago, 7-year cycle. Look at the last 7 years of your life, because I think that's going to be very imperative with the Seven of Wands and you being the 7th card, or the 7th sign in the zodiac. These 7 years, you think about even with your body. Our bodies go through these 7-year cycles, right? There's a lot surrounding that, but it all has to do with that solar plexus energy. All right, what else for Libra in the future, Spirit? Knight of Pentacles coming out sideways. And then the Page of Swords. Libra, I'm going to say if you want to heal things, as the Star sits there, and the Ace of Wands, if you want to heal things, you're going to have open, honest communication around something. Sitting back and watching, sitting back and observing situations anymore in this stagnancy is not going to fly. The Hierophant and the Devil. I can't help it. I feel there's so many messages. I feel like this reading is all over the place. I feel like there's going to be a lot of little pieces all of you can take from this. But this Hierophant and the Devil, this is... I'm going to go back to that falsified structures. It's giving me that tower vibe, that the things that you have chained yourself to and made commitments to have been all the wrong things for a very long time. And it's you needing to release and let go of that energy so that you can protect yourself in the long run. Really take a look at your alliances that you have in your life and ask yourself what purpose they're truly serving, because I don't feel like they are genuine connections with this Page of Cups coming out sideways, they're conditional. All of these connections are conditional. What's the condition they're based upon? You have to be a certain way. You have to have a certain sense of prestige. You have to give to them. You have to do for them. You have to do it on their terms. Conditions. And that's the big lie that sits underneath the surface. The devil coming out twice in that deceit. That's the lie. That's the illusion. It's conditional. You have to operate from something other than conditions. Whether it's work, love, money, family. It needs to be equal. And the one thing other than the Justice card, I've seen no balance. And balance is coming in to be restored. Okay? Advice. Advice for Libra in May. Addictions. There's that devil energy again. Codependency, toxicity, obsession. Needing to know when to restrain yourself. Some of you, or maybe you're dealing with somebody who lives in their sense of anger, and that blocks their emotions from being held true. And it says emotional block. I just talked about somebody who's like, no, we're going to leave those emotions over there. We're not diving into that, right? They're blocking that emotional sense of self. Maybe you are blocking that emotional sense of self. That's, you're committing yourself to the wrong things for the wrong reasons. Looking at pictures, missing you, nostalgia, making new memories. Picture, again, there's a seeking here, Libra, of something familiar to you. I feel like that's been the thing with this Four of Cups that's popped up twice. That you're trying to replace something. Spirit said that really even never existed. There's a longing internally for something that's never existed, and that may be why you continue to try to do things over and over and over and over again. For some of you, this is just how you deal with people. It needs to change. It can be in your family structures. It can be in your relationship structures. It could be in your job. Maybe you keep changing jobs because you're trying to find something that fulfills you. Right? It's like, what's going to love me back? What's going to give back to me the way I want it to give back to me? And then when it doesn't, there comes this anger, this resentment, this pain, these struggles, right? Advice. Spirit just said, stop sending your memories away. If things that are coming up to the surface, and you're trying to like suppress those, you've got to work through those. The only way to get through it is to go through it, okay? I said about that Tower. There's the Shock card. This is the Tower card. Twin flames, yin-yang, imbalance, union, duality, complement, polar opposites. I don't feel like this is so much a twin flame thing as it is calling for that balance. It's asking you to step into the ways that you can unify situations that are not conditional. And as I say that, there's unconditional love. I happened to just look down and see a conditional. I was like, wait a minute, what's this? What is fair? What is love? What is affection returned? What is being returned to you through these energies? I'm going to tell you something, Libra. I don't give a flying fuck. If it's family, someone you've known for 20 years, a best friend from you being a kid, if it doesn't present itself as balanced, it's not for you. It's not for you, because the things that you love are going to love you back. There's a big emphasis on that, and I'm going to tell you, despite conflict, maybe in some way there is genuine love, but they don't know how to use it appropriately. Okay? I don't know how else to explain that. This shock, there's going to be a lot of sudden changes that are happening. This news, these changes that I talked about in the beginning, you feel may not be fair. It is striking some kind of karmic fairness to clean the slate for you. It's very, very important that you take the road less traveled. It's very, very important that you step into a positive perception of the shifts, even when it's really freaking hard, in order to gain what you need so that you can move on and move forward in your life. 34, 34, 7, 7. Again, All right, Libra, I'm going to leave it there. Personal reads are open and available. That information will be found in the description box below, as well as the About section of the page. Thank you all for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing to the channel. I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you soon.